This is the passenger rear door. I've taken the paint off with an angle grinder. It looked actually quite good. The paint was in good condition for its age. But once I ground it off, I found that there were rust holes in the bottom section of the door here, similar to the driver's side. So what I'm going to have to do is to cut off a section off the bottom and butt weld that on. On the inside of the door, I've got a similar problem to what I had on the other side. The bottom of the inside of the door is rotted out, and also the top section of it is in not much better condition, badly rusted, dented in and so on. So what I'll do is I'll remake this whole section the same as I did on the other side, and I'll obviously take all this off. This type of padding behind absorbs moisture, so it's contributed certainly to the rust down in the bottom of the door. So I'll take that off and replace that and make sure that's all cleaned up on the inside. The timber on the top of the door on this side actually appears to be in reasonable condition at this stage, so I won't actually have to pull the whole door apart, which is encouraging. So hopefully this will be a fairly quick fix, different from the other side. The repairs to this particular door have now been completed. The new intersection's been made and put in place. That had to be completely remade. The whole bottom of the door was removed and replaced, so that's all new steel, and I've welded that in. The door fits reasonably well except for the gaps. The gaps down this side need to be closed up a little bit. They range from about 4mm down to 1.5. I'll probably get it round to just over 2.3mm, 2.4mm when I'm finished. The bottom is a bit close at about 1.5mm. On the other side of the door, it's ranging from about 3.8 to 4.7mm, so I need to close that gap up as well, so I'll put a bead of welding down there, close that up. Across the bottom, it's terribly uneven. It's got an 8mm gap at the corner here down to about a 4mm there, so that needs a lot of closing up, so I'll need to add metal in there to make sure the gaps are quite even. So that's what I'll be working on now, is to actually put some weld around and even up the gaps all the way around. When I've done that, then I'll start to look at how I fit the window frame in. The passenger side rear doors proved to be a bit of a problem in trying to get the gaps even. On the rear edge of the door here wasn't too bad. I've actually had to put a bead of welding all the way along up to there. The top end was right. The door fit in the hole is right. On this side there was a significant gap down in here. I've now closed that up at least 2mm I've actually added a 2mm of metal all the way down to get an even gap. The gap's now about 2.8, 2.9, and I'll just finish that off to make sure the edge is straight. The bottom was a real problem, ranging from a gap of about 3mm on this side to 7.5mm on that side. What I actually had to do was to weld a piece of rod onto the bottom, which was about 4mm in diameter, weld that on and then grind the shape into it. So now it has an even gap along the bottom of the door, and certainly closed it up. So it's taken a lot of time, but now the gaps are pretty well even all the way around, and not the way they were originally. So I'm quite happy with the way the door now fits. The fitting of this door is now complete. The bottom I've re-welded, closing the gaps. The window frame I've actually had to adjust the way that's screwed into the wooden part of the door, but that's now fitting with at least fairly even gaps. This section here is adjustable, so I'll wait until I do the final assembly before I make any fine adjustment to that, but it's fairly close. The inside, the winder mechanism was okay. The only problem I had was with the frame that holds the window and the winder mechanism. That was all rotted out, so I've actually made a new one of those, fitted that in, and now that works quite okay. So that's all. That door's ready for me to move on to the next one to repair, the last door.